Let's switch gears and take a live look outside from the Mission Ridge camera as we check in with meteorologist Cedric Haynes here in the studio for a look at our Tuesday forecast. Cedric.
All right, Latrice. Well, yeah, we've got some changes underway out there. You see some of those high clouds building in. We're going to see more of that over the next couple of days, and eventually that's going to lead to a chance of showers and thunderstorms. So let's start off with the big picture right now, showing you we've got a warm front that's beginning to lift to the north. Behind that warm front, we've got warm air that's going to be building in this afternoon. We also have a lot of deep tropical moisture coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be ahead of our next storm system that's going to be building, and you can see that already starting to take shape here across the plain states as we speak. So we've got a dry line here. This is the separation of some very dry air along with some very moist air coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that basically creates what we call thunderstorms that will develop here just along this dry line, and this will be the beginnings of our severe weather event. But what's going to be interesting is most of the day it's going to stay fairly dry here. This will start to develop as we go into the evening hours, and then it will spread across the lower 48, giving us a good chance of showers and thunderstorms. So this evening, here's where we're expecting the severe weather to start to break out. Right along the plain states there from Kansas City down towards Oklahoma City over towards the Dallas area. That's where we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for seeing some severe weather. But notice here in the Tennessee Valley, that is way off to our west. So we're not expecting any storms for us today or really as we go into tonight as well. Now, as we go into your Wednesday, that's a whole entirely different story. In fact, as we get into your Wednesday, we're going to be seeing a pretty decent severe weather outbreak developing here over Louisiana and Mississippi. We're talking a level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather. And the primary threat with this is going to be the potential of some damaging winds, and that line of storms will push from west to east as we go throughout the evening and overnight hours. And even though it moves our way, notice the level of severe weather threat kind of lowers a little bit, but still we're at a level 2 out of 5 risk of seeing that severe weather. So it is something that we're going to be watching for you very closely here. As we go in a little closer, you'll be able to see right across the heart of the Tennessee Valley, we got a level 2, even a level 3 here for portions of northeast Alabama now. So again, we'll watch this potential of severe weather. The primary time frame is going to be late Wednesday night heading into early Thursday morning as that line moves from west to east across the area there. And if you're wondering what our main threats are, we're talking damaging high winds. That's going to be the primary threat. Can't rule out an isolated tornado or some small hail, but the real focus is going to be the potential of some high wind, and that could occur even before the thunderstorms arrive. I'll show you more on that in just a second. But notice the tornado risk as we put a percentage on that for you. It's not zero. In fact, it's been bumped up a little bit from a 2% to a 5% risk across the area, but the greatest risk for any tornado activity will likely be to our south and west. But still, we've got to watch it. A 5% risk in a particular area is a pretty elevated risk. Now, notice the main concern when it comes to those damaging winds, widespread, everyone dealing with at least a 15% chance of seeing that, with a 30% chance approaching from the west. So that's an indication that we're expecting that line of storms to stay a little stronger as it moves our way. So we've got to watch and see exactly when it starts to weaken. Now, remember I said the high winds are going to be the primary threat, and even before any thunderstorms arrive, look at this as we go into your Wednesday afternoon without any thunderstorms around. We're talking about sustained winds, even gusting up to 30 to 40 miles per hour across parts of the area. But then notice as we get into the evening hours, that strong southerly wind really kicks in ahead of that line of storms, and so winds will likely gust over 40 miles per hour at times. That could cause some power outages in some spots, and of course you'll want to make sure you secure some of those loose items outside. Again, that's before the thunderstorms. And then you've got the thunderstorms that could produce some damaging winds as well. So there is a wind advisory that's in effect as well for most of the area here from Tennessee down to northern Alabama. And even though there's not one in northwest Georgia at this time, you also are expecting those winds to potentially gust 40 to 45 miles per hour throughout the day. Now let's time out the storms for you, because as we go throughout most of the Wednesday, it's going to be dry. We'll have those clouds building in across the area. It will also get windy. That's what these lines are indicating, those strong winds really increasing across the area. But here comes that line of storms. Notice by midnight or so approaching from the west and crossing over the area during the overnight hours. So again, while you're sleeping. So make sure you have a couple of ways of getting warnings just in case as we go throughout that time frame. So during the day on Wednesday afternoon and evening, increasing winds, gusting up to 45 to 50 miles per hour at times. That'll also give to an elevated fire danger. But then Wednesday night into Thursday morning while you're sleeping, that's when we could see the severe storms roll through. Primary threat, straight line winds. Can't rule out an isolated tornado, but the wind, that's going to be the big story with that line. Look at these temperatures today, warming in the 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. I think we'll be in the lower 70s in many spots in the valley areas, upper 60s in the higher elevations. Your Storm Alert 7-day forecast, again, notice 70s today, strong to severe thunderstorms. Wednesday night into Thursday, that's a Storm Alert weather day. Some of those storms could be severe with high winds the primary threat, then cooling off for the weekend.